Hunter Biden has offered to publicly testify before the House Oversight Committee. The Republican-led committee has been investigating him as part of an impeachment inquiry into his father, President Biden. So joining us now is CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge. So, Catherine, this is sort of interesting. He's offered to testify. It doesn't actually mean that he will, but what are some of the details in the letter? What more can you tell us?
Well, good to be with you both this morning. This three-page letter has been reviewed by CBS News, and Hunter Biden's lead attorney, Abby Lowell, makes this offer for his client to publicly testify before the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees. Both issued subpoenas for records and for a closed-door transcribed interview, or what's mostly referred to as a deposition. What stands out in the letter is that Hunter Biden's attorney makes the argument that this year-long plus investigation by House Republicans hasn't provided this connective tissue between Hunter Biden's businesses and his father at the time, then Vice President Joe Biden. And it reads in part, your committee has been working for almost a year without success to tie our client's business activities to his father. Yet the counterpoint from Republicans is that they have been able to independently review banking records, and they say they show that over a 5-year period, most of which was when Joe Biden was vice president, more than 20 shell companies were set up, and they claim that ultimately $24 million was received through those shell companies that benefited members of the Biden family and their associates.
So how are House Republicans responding, Catherine?
Well, they're going to issue a statement this morning based on some conversations I had before sitting down with the Republican aide. They're very firm on the point that they asked for a closed-door interview or deposition. And part of their investigative strategy is to talk to people first, kind of gather the intelligence, and that allows them, in their view, to kind of tee up a more efficient and targeted public hearing. I think we all know, watching these public hearings with the limited question period of each member, they can kind of go off course and be very unwieldy. So this committee has elected to do closed-door information gathering interviews first before doing public testimony, and that may be ultimately the position they take here.
So does this development, I don't know, change the rhetoric surrounding the investigation? I mean, you can't really sort of be critical of, complain about a lack of transparency if Hunter Biden is like, fine, I'll show up. Where do you want me?
Well, I think it's a little more complicated than that. I think the other thing that's hanging over this investigation on the Hill is ultimately what the finding is going to be of Special Counsel David Weiss. Based on our reporting here at CBS News, there is an active grand jury in California, and the question is whether Special Counsel Weiss will ultimately bring felony tax charges against the president's son, but more significantly, whether those charges will include violations of foreign lobbying laws, and that could ultimately ensnare other members of the Biden family. If that happens, it would give more energy, if you will. It would accelerate these investigations on Capitol Hill. If he declines to do so, it would, of course, have the opposite effect.
All right, Catherine Herridge reporting from Washington for us this morning. Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.